four-letter words out of my mind real quick.
She's a tough girl.
Don't say liberal too much. Well, no, really appreciate a chance to stop by. My name's MichaelSullivan, President of Texans for Fiscal Responsibility, and our organizational website is empowertexans.com, empowertexans.com. And our focus is, as you might guess by that whole fiscal responsibility thing, our focus is on tax and spending issues, focusing primarily on ways to keep government small, keep your tax burden small, so there's more money in your pocket to do great things or do stupid things. Frankly, it doesn't matter to me if you're doing great things or stupid things. You know, that's great, because in our economy, for our system of government to work, people have to have the resources available to them, of their own resources available to them, to be able to succeed and fail wildly. That Thomas Jefferson, one of my favorite Jefferson quotes, was, "A government big enough to give you everything you want is large enough to take away everything you have." And that we have seemed to have begun to lose sight of that in our public policies. We've seemed to begun to expect that you can have government taking care of all life's boo-boos on the one hand, but yet still, them not ask anything of you. Well, it doesn't work that way. If you come to MichaelSullivan and you ask MichaelSullivan for $100, guess what? I've now got a $100 stake in you. And in the same way, when Coca-Cola comes to me and says, "Hey, would you like to invest in our company?" And I say, "Sure," and I buy some Coca-Cola stock, guess what? I now get to tell Coca-Cola how to work. In the same way, what we keep finding with the economic policies that we've been pursuing in this country for the last couple decades is that we find that government is encroaching more and more and giving all of us more goodies with our own money. And in doing so, they think, perhaps rightly, that they now own us. And that's not what our founding fathers envisioned. That's not the kind of system of government that we're supposed to be living under. And so we seek, at our level, our organization, to promote those kinds of policies at the state level. That very often those of us who are liberty-minded, we're really good about talking about, whether or not France's president has the right, philosophy on monetary policy in his dealings with, Indonesia, and, what's the back and forth on all these kinds of policies. But where the policies that affect our lives, whether we realize it or not, are the things that are decided by our city councils, by our school boards, by our county commissioners, and by our state legislators. At the end of the day, the President of the United States, unless Obamacare goes through, the President of the United States cannot directly affect your life unless you are above the rank of colonel in the United States military. The President of the United States cannot order a major to do anything. Legally, constitutionally, under military law, he can't order a major to do anything. He can't do anything to you and me. On the other hand, make mad your county commissioner and find out how much power your county commissioner directly has over your life. County commissioners in the state of Texas can shut down the road leading to your home or to your business and claim that they're doing maintenance or that it's not safe or any number of things. In fact, they don't have to justify why they shut down your road. They can end your access to your property. And guess what? You have no recourse. There's nothing you can do to demand that they open your road. That's real power. Try making angry a member of the Corpus Christi City Council and see how often your business starts getting visited by the health department. And think of the powers that city health departments have to shut down businesses. Amazing power. And yet most of us can't name our city council members, never met our county commissioner, don't have a clue who our state representatives are. So we try to get the public educated about what these levels of government do, and then try to work with people in working towards liberty-oriented ideas at those levels of government. Believe it or not, there is a free market question to be asked about garbage collection. And a lot of folks laugh when I say that, but Try being in New York City in the early 1990s when the City of New York's garbage collection service went on strike because the city council and the garbage collectors couldn't reach their union couldn't reach an agreement. They went a couple of weeks without garbage. Big jokes, around the country. Oh, all the garbage piling up in New York. I can tell the difference. That kind of thing. Big joke at the time. But 20 years later, the health effects of not getting garbage picked up for about 3 weeks, I think, are still felt. You can still measure the health effects on people because garbage wasn't collected for 3 weeks in New York City. Again, that's power. And we have to be thinking through how can we impact that? How can we influence that? How can we be sure that the right kind of public policies are being implemented? So that's the kind of things that we work on at our organization. Again, our primary focus is at the state level, working with the state legislators. I'll pass around for you if you're interested. These are our most recent scorecard based on our voting index. Again, you can get all the details on the votes that are used and that kind of stuff at our website, empowertexans.com. If you'd like, I'll also pass around this little clipboard. If you're not on our email list and would like to get on it, you can fill that out. Or you can send a text message, Texas to 77007, Texas to 77007, and you'll get a little link on your cell phone so you can remember to do that when you get home. So, but Texas to 77007. As I look at what's going on at the state level, I have cause for those of us who care about liberty to be both really excited and really scared. Because on the one hand, I spent all last week up in Philadelphia for what's called the National Conference of State Legislatures. That's where essentially all of the state house and state senate members from all 50 states gather together and they plot ways to impose greater levels of Marxism upon us. And if you think I'm being facetious, I'm not. That is what they do. The big topic this year at NCSL was how can the states more fully embrace national health care? So in Texas, I'm happy to report to you, Texas was one of only, I think, 2 or 3 state delegations to NCSL that said, we don't want Obamacare in our state. But it's pretty darn terrifying when you consider that the other states seem to not have a problem with it. So on the one hand, you go up to someplace like NCSL and you see just what a bunch of complete, absolute bozos are running the other states. And they go, that's why Texas is doing so well. Our competitors are the Keystone Cops. On the other hand, though, we do have some real structural problems that we have to be ready to address. We have to be realistic about what those problems are. Our property taxes are the 7th highest in the nation. 7th highest in the nation. While our overall tax burden is still among the lowest in the country, having the 7th highest property taxes means that we have the worst homeowner rates in the country. It's just too expensive to maintain a home once you think that you own it. And I keep hearing people talk about that they're property owners. And maybe some of you think that you're a property owner, but you're not. You're not a property owner in Texas. You're a renter. Even if you think that you've paid the bank for your loan, for your mortgage, you still don't own the property. And if you don't believe me, don't pay your property taxes next year and see what happens. A nice burly guy, kind of looks like you probably, will show up with a constable patch on his shoulder and politely ask you and your family to leave his property. And guess what? You darn well better go, because I bet he's got more guns than you do. Maybe not some of you, but for most of us, he's got more, or at least bigger guns, if not more. So we have got to get a handle on our property tax burden. It's also beginning to impact what kind of jobs we can bring to Texas. When you have the 7th highest property tax burden, or property taxes are so high, it begins limiting things like manufacturing and heavy industry. If you're wanting to build a 1 million square foot factory with robots in it, doing whatever the heck robots do in factories anymore, I don't know, that the property taxes on that are outrageous. Michael Dell, when he is building the factories to build his computers, he doesn't build them in